Ronnie's going to break.
It's not just what he does, it's the way that he does it. He is the most charismatic player in the modern game.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The first frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
And of course, O'Sullivan's immediate focus must be on disposing of a very dangerous opponent, Neil Robertson, who beat O'Sullivan to win the Hong Kong Masters back in the summer and earn entry to the Champion of Champions.
Yes, the big audience is backed up by the huge queues that I saw as we were walking in, right down past various conferences. Thought it was a busy day, but they're all here to watch these players in this group. By far the biggest crowds of the week. Well, the left-handed O'Sullivan break has caused problems immediately for Neil Robertson. Oh yes, very nice. There were a few reds you could actually glance at there. The target was possibly a little bigger than it looked, but it was still a very well-judged shot, his first of the day.
It's not often that a break-off shot causes as much trouble as that.
That looks to be another very good safety shot from O'Sullivan. He's got a long way to cutting off the left of the table. So already we're seeing Robertson put under pressure.
Well, had to force the cue ball round behind the back of the black, but it was a very difficult pot, and if it went wrong, which it has done, very dangerous.
Yeah, it looks bad when the reds jump around the table like that, but he wasn't far out. He may have left only half a pocket at this red. Only looking at the first red, passing the second just.
One.
And enough certainly for that pot to be no problem. Of course, best of 7 we know is not the longest of matches. It could be a little nervy. Both players would love to be playing a best of 11 tonight. Only one can.
Seven.
A couple of weeks ago, O'Sullivan won the English Open title and in the final recorded a 98% pot success rate. Missed only 6
8.
pots all day. That's the sort of form which suggested that he's right back in his prime, even with his 42nd birthday coming up in a couple of weeks. I think the big key with O'Sullivan is that he's really enjoying the game these days.
13.
He seems to be free of any serious off-table worries at present.
Now he's looking already to free the black where, and as soon as he can.
19.
Both of the reds above the black pot to the right corner. I think the one that's directly
20.
above it now, you'd have an eye on cannoning the red below it out in potting that and staying on the black, making the table the black end more accessible. He's very quick to see the shot, and even he is having a long hard look at the way the balls are placed. Well, he's just off straight on this red. I wonder if he can move the other one. It could be absolutely
26.
perfect. Yes, very cleverly
27.
played on the pink. He couldn't have put the ball any better with his hand than where he was on that red to clear the black. And he's off.
$34. 35.
Didn't hit the second red quite as thinly as he anticipated, so this black is thinner and more difficult than he expected it to be.
He'll be more than happy with that. See Ronnie just grimacing
42.
there. Now he's wearing his shoes today. Good shot, that last one. He's got his shoes on. I think he has got the option, I heard, to change back into something a little more comfortable. Twisted his ankle, didn't he, just prior to the event in Barnsley, and it was trainer gate all week.
43. $46.
A lot of people say to me, oh, you know, Ronnie O'Sullivan, he wasn't so worried as all that when he lost in Darshing.
47.
But I thought that Yan Bingtao played exceptionally well to beat him. And as Alan McManus said, yeah, all these players are going to lose occasionally. They sometimes
49.
look invincible, but none of them are.
Well,
Ronnie O'Sullivan. 49.
the break ends on a misjudged ground. Didn't hit the first red quite thin enough. Very dodgy safety from Robertson.
That's just a poor shot. There's no excuse for that. Going straight into the bump of the middle bag with no pressure applied. It's not going to frighten O'Sullivan.
Well, that was a decent chance. And so was that.
Well, he wanted it to slow down, sharpish. And now he can't put a colour. So that is always second prize.
One.
I think Robertson's biggest problem here is not so much hitting a red, but if he plays into the bunch of four, he just could push one of those reds out into play if he goes that way. It's a dangerous shot. He might try and lay on a different red. I think that's the reason he finished short there, because he was
Foul.
worried about pushing a red
Ronnie 7-4.
out. And he'll get another chance to play the shot, I suspect. As Ronnie, for whatever reason, decides it's to his advantage to continue, but no, back it goes. This shot is all about pace. I think the direction he's got it under control. The bottom red he could easily push on if he's not careful.
Second attempt perfect.
Ronnie happy enough to leave that red down the cushion. Not that it's easy, but of course with the black not potable, there's no value in even trying it. And Ronnie also would probably not be all that interested in getting the black into play with his lead in the frame. That's Robertson's problem, not his.
Well, the black is in play from the O'Sullivan safety.
Yes, but he's played it pretty well. Again, that red is there if he thinks it's worth a go, but it's sort of shot that could easily rattle in the jaws if he plays it.
That was a very tough shot.
I don't think he pots them quite as well as he used to. You know, he was doing what Luca Brissell did yesterday at one point in his career. I haven't seen long potting quite like Luca was able to achieve yesterday for a good while now. He was breathtaking.
Robertson was actually fortunate not to leave O'Sullivan a frame clinching chance in his attempt again red. But again, O'Sullivan's safety has got him in trouble. Only caught the second red very thinly, so still managed to get the cue ball back to the ball cushion.
It's a good shot, isn't it? He made Ronnie think here. It's a very high-class safety shot from O'Sullivan. It's easy sometimes to forget just how good tactically he can be when he wants to be.
Well, that was a possible shot to nothing for Robertson, but the red didn't really threaten the pocket.
No, but this is a different O'Sullivan test. We know how his break building and his safety is. Now, his long game might come under scrutiny here. He's got to go for this. Well, he passed that test with flying colours.
And it's a clear frame clinching chance.
5. Six.
So the first frame is in the bag.
30. $40.
Pretty good opening frame this from O'Sullivan.
20.
Set off with a 49 break.
21.
Misjudged the plant. Missed another pot, but his safety has been excellent. And he's thoroughly dominated the frame.
27. 28. $34. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 34. And the
So,
pressure.
rates of 49 and the clinching 34 featured as O'Sullivan takes the opening frame. But, Robertson
I don't think it'll be long game. Just get
didn't ascertain before the match where the loos were, so this comfort break is a little longer than usual as O'Sullivan takes the opening frame. Well, Brendan Moore has given him the necessary information. I think Robertson's apologised for keeping O'Sullivan waiting, and now he's back.
Quite rare, isn't it, for a player to go up and speak to another player after a frame. I don't quite know what the situation was for sure there. Anyhow, we can start again. And I hope, for Robertson's sake, that he starts a little better. He didn't pot a ball in the previous frame, 0 from 3 pots, albeit none of them all that easy.
Well, during the interval between the first and second frames, Robertson was scuffing up the soles of his shoes because he was slipping on the carpet.
Yeah, well, that's something that's happened to players before. If you're wearing new shoes, you can be like on ice when you're out there. Steve Davis, great player, and back in his day, very practical man. Put some rubber soles on the bottom of quite expensive shoes. Everyone thought it was all that stylish, but he didn't slip around out there. That's because he was ahead of the game, was Steve. Didn't care what anyone thought about him.
A long way out for a long potter of Robertson's ability and reputation.
Yeah, that red just drifting towards the baulk cushion, though, has made it more difficult for Ronnie to start a break here. If you could have had a bet, Clive, who would have had an equipment problem or shoe problem after the first frame, you'd have had a bet on O'Sullivan, wouldn't you, of the two?
Well, I don't know. Robertson once pitched up at the Crucible without a wearable pair of shoes, and he was in a shoe shop about a quarter of an hour before he was due to play in the arena.
Yeah, I think Ronnie once played at the Crucible in bare feet, just his socks on, and then they made him put a pair on. I think he ended up with Mike Ganley's shoes, which hadn't been polished any time in the last year, I think. Real scuffed up old things they were. Even that shot didn't look much, but it's well thought out, pushing the red to the side cushion and now not available to hit. All the time he's got Robertson in trouble was every shot so far.
As Robertson's safety allowed O'Sullivan to get his bridge hand on the bed of the table.
Yes, pushing the red away as well. Finishing low on the black was ideal. The red above it will not be there after this shot. That was a mistake. Unusual. Didn't mean to hit that red. He meant to screw beyond it.
60.
There's no way this cannon was what he played. Well done. Really good recovery.
$24. $25.
Well, there's a surprise.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 25.
One of those rare situations where a player will just forget about the pot because he thinks there's never going to be the problem. His mind was on, I think, when the cue ball was about to finish. I mentioned Frank Callan earlier in the week, who played a big part in a lot of players on the tour, and he used to call it, don't ever forget the 5%, and what he meant by that was the obvious, the pot that you're on.
Couldn't really go wrong there in terms of leaving anything with the pink guarding the pocket. O'Sullivan's safety, though, has got Robertson over the awkward or congested side.
One.
Welcome fluke. Would have been even better if he'd finished on the pink.
He's off the mark as well. A long time waiting for his first pot. Playing nearly 28 minutes before one's gone in, and that was a fluke.
Cream ball. Neil Robertson, 1.
Hasn't got O'Sullivan in any trouble, though, and hasn't left the cue ball as close to the ball cushion as perhaps he should have done.
Yeah, so Neil can also get to that left-hand red on the left side. So he could be aiming to get in behind the blue and the brown here as well. Well, gradually all the reds are getting closer and closer to the blocked off right corner where the pink is.
Foul. Miss.
Past the outside edge.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Well, there was a time in his career he'd have gone for the red, never mind trying to hit it thin on the other side. I mean, the way that he used to pot, he would have certainly taken that onto the left corner. And now he's in trouble. So whether he's not thinking all that positively, that man has exploited that little mistake that he made.
Yes, taking up your point, Neil, I think Robertson has lost some confidence in his recent run of poorish results. He's lost to players that he was expecting to lose to. The position of the pink is really slowing this frame down.
Well, that's broken things up a little bit. It's not a very nice shot to go for this, queuing on the side cushion. It's ran up the table. Not even sure he was all that bothered if it went in or not, actually.
I don't think he seriously attempted it.
There's something in the game that we have seen over the years, and even attacking players of this kind, if you've got a colour which goes over a pocket, there isn't much anyone can do. It's got to play the right shot. It usually ends with someone knocking in the ball that's in the way.
Foul. Neil Robertson 6.
So O'Sullivan makes the mistake which is going to increase this frame's pace of play. Is there a 3-ball plant there? It's not an automatic one, I don't think. Not far off though.
Well, if the first two reds have got any distance between them, then he can push the angle to the right onto the third one. Well, that's left him with a shot at the green at range. Horrible shot.
Yes, it needed just a bit of luck there positionally. Could easily have been on pink or black.
Well, he's 50-50 to even go for the green, I think. Again, I can think of periods during his career when he might have done. But not saying for 1 second it would be an easy shot.
Yeah,
Well,
Robertson.
that's, in this case, very well played.
Foul, the miss. Neil Robertson 4. One. Yeah.
So at last a reasonable chance for Robertson. Seems tentative, doesn't he, Neil?
Yes, and he's only going to hurt Ronnie O'Sullivan one way, and that's by scoring heavily. All the other parts of his game is building up to the fact that he's got to just pop a lot of balls, I think, get scoring. He does seem tentative. I think if he could win a frame, preferably this one, he would settle down.
7. Thank you. 8.
Struggled it in.
14. $15.
This
21.
was certainly the red he wanted to get on. Clearing the black.
22.
Tried to develop awkward
29.
reds to better positions.
30.
Now, that's not a bad kiss at all. Now he can play on the red below the black. Just a little nudge that any player would need. Cue ball could have gone just about anywhere. Still doesn't mean he'll win the frame, but he's getting a half-decent lead on the board. Oh, well.
38.
I'm guessing he played a screw on the black in the same pocket. If so, miles out.
A candidate for his worst positional shot of the year.
Yeah, the table has been playing pretty well all week. I think we've seen good standard of snooker. It's being recovered actually after tonight, when we will of course be at the semi-final stages for tomorrow evening.
Neil Robertson, 38.
For a lead of 21.
Well, he's probably got no choice but to have a pop at this long red, but it's very awkward. And on the cushion rail is the first thing that's difficult. And the fact that he's had to roll it's not really an O'Sullivan sort of a shot, that. He likes to punch the ball when possible.
One.
Oh, the angle is good to go in behind the two reds here. From the black. He's got to judge it right. Still not anywhere near home and hosed in the frame. Lead will be 29 points, so one of the two reds with a high value colour should be enough. That's not bad. Narrow angle,
8.
but he's right behind it.
And it's this to go, 36 in front with only 35 on.
$15. 16.
If O'Sullivan had needed only one snooker, he would have played on. I doubt that he will now.
Neil Robertson, 16, and a frame.
So an unspectacular frame, but Neil Robertson has won it to level the match at 1-all. First to 4 wins is 1-all.
Thank you. The third frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Top players invariably intend to leave the cue ball somewhere where it is now. from the break-off shot. If they break off from the yellow side,
Foul, no miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Yeah, I think he probably played into the bunch, but again, he's short, surprisingly, and Ronnie will have a look, but there's every chance he'll be put back.
Yeah.
Fully entitled to go and have a check. There might have been something for him there. And you do get the feeling that in the end, Robertson will bury this cue ball into the bottom of the pack of reds. So it's a question of how many points he concedes, I think. The likelihood of him sticking one
We don't have the screen, so that's...
Oh, you don't?
No.
I don't think it was as easy.
is unlikely.
Play that was swerving. I think it's probably maybe a touch higher up like that.
That's a bit more.
Apparently the screen is not in operation at the moment.
Well,
which
what I
means
personally was looking at was...
There's
you
this
could actually
dialogue.
hit that one full ball, that's what I'm lining up at.
between
That's
player
what
and
I was lining
referee.
up at. Okay.
The fact that he can see a red is significant, clearly, because if he misses again, then he'll have to hit one the third time or lose the frame.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Ronnie. Thanks.
No, there's an insect
Foul,
there.
no miss.
He got closer to that than the reds, actually.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Oh dear, not very nice. Anyhow,
Yeah.
this
Back, yeah.
I'm expecting to be the warning, because I'm certain he can see a red full on. So he'll have to hit one this time. We have seen players lose frames under these circumstances, but it's pretty rare.
Okay. Ronnie. Failed to red this time for him to Ronnie. Okay, now.
well, that's what we do as an alternative.
Well, it makes a player fairly dangerous on that third striking out rule, doesn't it? Because his mind is made up that he's got to do something a little bit out of the ordinary. He's got licence to play a shot as brilliant as that.
Five.
It really was a crunching opening
6.
red, wasn't it? I mean, it's the kind of shot which really can give you a boost as a player.
Particularly as Robertson had no joy with his previous long pots this afternoon.
Thank you. 12. $13.
And you can see the disappointment that he's finished where he has, short on the blue. He's recovered fairly well with that last shot.
18. 19.
Well, that was much more positive. He didn't allow himself any negative thoughts there. He played it very quickly. The sort of shot, the more you look at those, the more
24.
things you can dream up that could go wrong.
$25. $30. $31.
It's a very unusual frame, this one, when you think of it. Ronnie's breakoff shot got Robertson in all sorts of trouble. And ultimately, all he's done is break off. On the third strike, he potted along red.
$37. $38.
Robertson would like to get rid of the red, which is virtually touching the black.
$43.
Well, that red is really tight. I'm not entirely sure it goes. If it does, it will be off the left jaw only, I think. It's one of those. I always think it's better to look behind the pocket, the kind of view that we have. And now he's doing exactly that. I feel that's always the best way of determining whether the ball does go or not. I think half a pocket, perhaps.
The red that he was really after is the one nearest the black, but he overran for that.
It's one of those you're never entirely sure, even when you're watching at home, but couldn't say for definite this would pop.
He ends up by refusing it, but
44.
chooses an alternative.
Yeah, made it look easy, that red at pace along there. He's certainly getting into his game now. He was a little edgy at the beginning. Wow. Wasn't quite the last piece in the jigsaw.
Here, Robertson, 44.
And he had to worry about position as well. This has gone all around the pocket.
1.
May just mean this could be a very significant part of the match here. It was only the third frame, but Ronnie's been kept quiet for a long period. Will he have the same fluency now that he's back in with a chance?
Seven. Eight.
Well, he's a master at these sort of shots. He might play the can the left red of the 4. And that's perfectly executed.
15.
Just going to ensure that he gets on a colour. He's got the safety valve of the blue being there, I think. It should go slightly wrong. Well, not to hit anything else on the way through there.
$21.
The ball's well set for a winning clearance.
22. $29. 30.
There's already shaping up to be a highly entertaining match. Not any real fireworks
36.
with breaks, but it's still been pretty good. This will be a significant
37.
turnaround in the frame if O'Sullivan was to clear.
$43. 44.
Up to and including the brown is what he needs.
50. 52. 55. 59.
O'Sullivan has kept impeccably tight control of the cue ball throughout this winning effort.
64.
Robertson was first in with 44, but left himself a missable blue, and O'Sullivan has done the rest.
70. And the frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
So with that 70 clearance to pink, O'Sullivan leads by 2 frames to 1. Group 4 of the Champion of Champions. Ronnie O'Sullivan leads Neil Robertson by 2 frames to 1. Winner of this match to play either John Higgins or Anthony
Thank
McGill
you, frame 4. Neil Robertson to break.
in the group final this evening. Robertson seemed to be getting control of the third frame we've just seen, but never got the cue ball in exactly where he wanted it. Several times was slightly out of position, and eventually ended up missing a thin blue. O'Sullivan duly punished him with a 70 clearance to pink.
Well, this is very close. It's got all the hallmarks of a potential push shot, this, if he's not careful. Running through. Referee Brendan Moore will be very keen to see how this one works out. It's just got that look about it. Well, that was okay. He did well there.
1. Eight. Nine.
But couldn't control the shot positionally.
The whole thing was a blur, wasn't it? I don't know how much he really knew about that. He just hoped for the best. Got through them, but to finish nowhere. But you're right, the previous frame he could never quite get position, but the irony was, as soon as Ronnie got his chance, he never looked like missing. He got behind every shot perfectly.
Yeah, Robertson, 9.
It's very good to see O'Sullivan playing such a full programme of tournaments this season. The last few seasons he's been a picker and chooser, but he played in and won the English Open. He's playing 3 in succession, Dutching here and Shanghai over a 3-week period. Then the Northern Ireland Open, the UK Championship of course, and then the Scottish Open.
Yes, of course there is that £1 million bonus should any one player win all 4 nations, home nations events. Of course, everyone said, well, it's impossible. Well, I don't know about impossible, but slightly more possible given that he won the first one of them, I suppose. And getting quite exciting. Should he win in Belfast as well, no doubt. Surely he's on something. It must be on the brown. And he's not given touching on the pink, so there must be some gap so he can get through to the brown ball.
Five. 6. $11. 12.
time he's gone a little too far. That's unlike O'Sullivan positionally.
19.
He's got to avoid the black now on this shot if he can, which mightn't be easy. Looks like it's going to go into it. It's a nice
20.
cannon. Made to look very easy, but it could have gone wrong. Now he's back in prime position.
27. 28. $35. 36. 41. 42.
Oh, if he wants to go into the bunch, he certainly can from there. Oh, he's always played that shot ever so well. Gave every red a chance of becoming available.
49. 50.
'Once again, stun run through around two cushions, beautifully played.
57.
The target was fairly big, but he just seems to be in control at the moment. The cue ball very rarely even drifts slightly out of position.
58.
And it makes the game look easier than what it is. Getting the right angle to get on the next ball all the time. It's a great art.
$65.
Frame ball next, he's just checked that with the scores.
$66.
Starting to turn the screw now, O'Sullivan. Yeah, Robertson has never quite got going. He started to. In the beginning of frame 3.
71.
But since then, he's not really been involved. Somebody that watches snooker when he's not playing, he would have been fully aware
72.
the kind of form O'Sullivan was in the English Open. He knew he'd have to raise his game today.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 72 on the frame.
So with that positionally immaculate break of 72, Ronnie O'Sullivan extends his lead to 3-1, 2 up with 3 to play. So from 1-all, Ronnie O'Sullivan has clinched the last 2 frames.
Thank you, frame 5.
With breaks
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
of 70 and 72. Why does he break off left-handed? I gather it's because he feels that he can get more right-hand side as he looks at it to swing the cue ball round to his intended position behind the green. I can't think that he does it that much better left-handed than he would right, but anyway, it's up to him.
He does it because he can do it, I think. It's, most other players couldn't. This little quirk. For once, actually, he's given something from the break-off shot for his opponent. No, not very close. And immediately O'Sullivan with an early opportunity here. That looks a very thin snick to the middle bag, that one up the table. So he may look at something else. It really is thin. I'm sitting in the commentary box thinking that just a coat of paint if he goes for the cut.
Well, if he did attempt the cut, there would be a lot of speed on the cue ball and wouldn't have much idea where it was going to finish up.
Now he's looking at something else. I totally understand. Good shot as well. He didn't really play it half-heartedly, where he just got the cue ball down to the bottom cushion. He played it as if he fancied getting it and being on the blue.
Six.
He's changed his mind a couple of times here. Breaks all the rules in doing that, O'Sullivan. You're supposed to get up and
7.
start the shot all over again, but he's managed to do it all his career. The black is now a missable one. Bit of pressure on this. I think he let out a little groan there.
40.
Knocking the red over the pocket away. Nothing easy here. Into a blind pocket. You can't see the opening of pocket on this shot. That's a really, really good shot.
15. $20.
Still not quite in prime position, even this shot. Hard to avoid any other reds in potting this one to the middle. Excellent.
21.
Beautiful cannon.
$28.
Well, one more sort of 50-50 shot here, and all the reds are really there for him. If he knocks this in and gets on the blue, he should be away.
$29.
This is starting to shape up as the 896th century of O'Sullivan's career. Already he's made more than any other player.
34. 35.
And he believes he could get to the 1,000 before he's done.
All the shots are coming out now. Right hand running side around two cushions there.
42. $43. 50. 51. 58. 59. 66. 67.
'Well, at the point of almost no return here, 67 the difference with that amount on. That's now become an irrelevance because O'Sullivan is going to win. And while I might have seen him play better,
74.
in fact I know I have in his career, I think, Clive, that his control has been
75.
absolutely exceptional. His safety's been good. His break building has been up there. Positional play, cue ball on a string. It's all been there, hasn't it? True class.
It has, and I think that this is
81.
his basic level of performance these days.
82.
He's not just playing well every now and again, he's playing well every match.
88. 89.
And the snooker public revels in the style and artistry with which O'Sullivan compiles these breaks.
94. 95.
'So there we are, century number 896.
101.
Only another 104 to go before he reaches
106.
1,000.
The question of when that happens, not if, for me. You were right, you called it quite an early stage, but as I say, when his cue ball is under such
107.
tight control, then you wonder where it can all go wrong.
109. Send the lights off, please.
It's a very difficult game, snooker, but Ronnie O'Sullivan can make it look ludicrously easy at times.
112. 116. 121.
The first two frames were shared and were relatively quiet. Robertson scored first with 44 in the third frame, but O'Sullivan took it with a run of 70, then one of 72. Made it 3-1.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
With that clearance of 134, he clinches his victory. So Ronnie O'Sullivan beats Neil Robertson much more comfortably than expected by 4 frames to 1.
Well, what a performance from the Rocket there. Just with that fantastic 1-3-4 to take the victory, the highest break of the tournament so far. We'll hear what Stephen and Alan had to make of it after the break.